All right, I am going to demonstrate some ways to use FamilySearch, just some of the basics that are essential for functioning and maneuvering within FamilySearch. But first, I wanted to read a quick quote by President Monson. He said, "Remember that the mantle of leadership is not the cloak of comfort, but rather the robe of responsibility." You know, we are all part of the Abrahamic covenant when we have been baptized and taken upon ourselves the ordinances of the gospel. And our responsibility within the Abrahamic covenant is to help bring the gospel to all of the families of the earth. And that means doing family history. And so Elijah passed the mantle to Elisha. That's symbolic of taking on a leadership role, bringing upon ourselves a new responsibility. And that's what we do when we have our temple ordinances, when we make those covenants. We are taking that responsibility. It is not like a coat to keep us warm and comfortable. It is a robe of responsibility, like President Monson says. It is taking upon ourselves the obligation to help save people and to engage in this family history work. Now, I'm going to go on to some functions within FamilySearch. So first, I'm going to go into the family tree. And this is just going to show my pedigree. So this is the very, very basics of FamilySearch. You can expand your tree by clicking on these arrows. Of course, you must have information in order to click outward on those. But that's how you expand different lines within your tree. You also can change views. So this is the landscape view. This is me and my husband, his parents, my parents, and then the 4 grandparents. And the tree moves outward this way to the right. And then our kids are on the left. I can change the view to portrait, which basically is more tree-like because I am now at the trunk. I'm at the bottom, the base of the tree, and then the generations move up in a tree-like formation upwards. And then fan chart is another way to view the tree in this circular shape. And so here I like that I can have a quick, easy view of all of my grandparents. And, I can just click on one to actually see their card and then open their page. So you may notice, though, from the fan chart, I can't get back. You have to be in landscape view in order to get back to the home button. And home just brings you right back to yourself. The home button always brings you back to you. So if you've been out, many generations off to the right, and you've hit a stopping point, you want to start over again, go back to yourself, you have to go to the landscape view and hit the house button. Next thing I want to do is demonstrate how to add a person to the family tree. Now, I don't have any family members to add to the tree at this moment, so I'm going to fake one. I'm going to pretend that my son got married. So I'm going to add a spouse. So let's just say her name is Sarah Jane, because that's a cute name. And the last name is Smith. We'll just keep with the family tradition. Female, living, and I'll just make up a birth date. I'll give it the 5th day of June. June works for Jane. 1998. And let's say she was born in Indonesia, just because that's fun. So this is a totally made up person. And then I'm going to go next. So this is what I entered. This is the name of the person and their information. So I'm just going to create a person. And I push the button. So now he's married. But that's not a real person. So now I have to go and delete this person because she doesn't really exist. Ooh, it's a living confidential person, but it's a person that I made up within my tree. And so I can just delete it. I yes, and delete. Okay, so he's not married anymore. He's back to being single. Okay, so like I said before, we can go back to the tree and see he's back to being single. So we're all good there. So that's how you add a person. Now, if you're adding an ancestor who's not living, a deceased person, there is a chance that FamilySearch might already have that person in their records. And in that case, you wouldn't just create a person. FamilySearch would give you some suggestions. They would say, well, is it this person or this person or this person? And if it is one of them, then you just add that person. Okay, the next thing I want to do is show how to upload a picture, document, or story. So I'm going to make my next child the victim. So this is my daughter, Christelle. And I want to add a picture for her. So I'm going to go to Memories. And it takes a second. Now I want to upload a photo. So this is how you do it. Just click upload photo. I'm going to go into my files. I already know the picture that I want for her. It is this one right here. And then I'm going to click open. Now, one thing that happens when you upload a photo is FamilySearch wants everything to be safe. And so you're always going to see this exclamation point and the screening thing because FamilySearch is going to look over it to make sure that it is appropriate content so that people aren't uploading images that are not family friendly. So I can click on the picture and I can add some details to it. I can click on the image to tag. Now I already know that it's Christelle, so I'm just going to click on her face, but expand just a little bit to actually get her face just right and move it over. There we go. And save. Now, if the picture came in the wrong way, I could go to actions and I could rotate it if I needed to. I could put it in an album. And then also, what do you remember? I'll just put, oops, she got letters from the Relief Society and it was exciting to her. So now we've got her picture in there. So that's how it's done. Thanks for watching.